Call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Mayor Santiago.
Here.
Commissioner Pepitone.
Here.
Vice Mayor Parent.
Here.
Commissioner Udalvis. Here. Commissioner Cooper.
Here. Can we all stand, salute the flag, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we stand in silence for Joyce Vanneman, who was a big-time stakeholder of the city of Millville, great lady, and if she was here today, I'm sure all of you were her friend, and she would make sure you were her friend as she was leaving this meeting. So let's bow our head. Thank you. You may have a seat. This meeting is being conducted in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975, was advertised, posted, and made available to the public as required by statute. The municipal clerk is directed to include a statement in the minutes of this meeting. Madam Clerk, are there any review changes to the agenda?
Yes, Mayor. We have the addition of a closed session item to discuss the MOU with Inspira for EMS services under contract negotiations and the deliberative process.
Thank you. Anything else?
No, Mayor.
We've now opened up for public comment on agenda items only. Anyone that would want to make a comment on the agenda tonight, please step up to the mic, state your name and your concerns, and limit your comments to 5 minutes, please. Seeing no one, I close the public comment portion of the meeting. Presentations. I know that the Wi-Fi guy's here, right?
Yes, right. And it's not Chase Donnelly. This is Adair Grover. So if you want to, it's for Wi-Fiber, it's a presentation on connectivity and gunshot detection.
And I believe, Captain Bear, you're along with him, or? Yeah. Okay.
Well, what I'm going to do here is get this up on the big screen for you guys. But before I did that, I was going to kind of give you a little background or walk through on the technology. I want to be short, sweet, so if you guys give me a time limit, I'll try to tailor it to such. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Before you begin, can I say something real quick? Yes, I want to take the time to thank Captain Bear for doing a lot of research. Jody Farabella shared with me the fact that Captain Bear did a lot of research on his own to bring this to us and maybe give us, even a better opportunity to solve the city's problems. But thank you, Captain Bear. Appreciate that. Absolutely. Captain did a lot working with us, brought us in.
Can I ask you to get to the mic, because then we won't hear and they won't hear on TV. Thank you.
I apologize. So
no
Captain Bear really. Is this thing on or?
Yes.
All right, perfect.
Yes,
I can't tell. But no, Captain Bear did a lot for us, working with the chief to get us in to kind of help showcase the technology. And I wanted to get that set up there, but given the length of the wires, I thought it'd be maybe a little bit better to put it here. I hope everyone can see the unit from here. It's basically a street light, and the reason I wanted to walk up there is if you see that little white box on the table on the corner next to this public microphone, is that's actually the core. That's the access point. So you'd put this on like the police department, city hall, wherever you have city internet or city fiber. And then from there, each of these lamp heads has that same access point built into the top of it. So once this goes up, let's say on city hall or the police department, anything in range gets connected wirelessly with internet. So these deployed lamps don't need anything except the power which already exists at the pole. So really when it comes down to install, you take care of that main unit there, and then the crews go out, or we go out, and we just put these on the existing poles, tie them in, really, really simple. It's got about a 35-minute up and down time with the lift for installation. While I'm talking about that, the range on that access point is 50 kilometers, about 31 miles. So if we put it up here, let's just say at this building, we can go about 31 miles in any direction and get what we call a gig link. So it's 866 megs of wireless capacity, which is going to go 31 miles. And, if you're leading fiber to, let's just say, a major intersection or you're building conduit, the average cost is about $100K a linear mile. So for, a couple $1,000 or whatever it may be, these access points allow you to really get that fiber out there without having to wait the time for fiber and trench that cost. And I wanted to just kind of mention that because the internet connectivity is really the backbone of everything that we're doing here from the surveillance platform. So once we get into the lamp head here, I guess the TV just clicked off. Perfect timing, huh?
What's that?
You worried about it the whole time.
Sorry.
Yeah. So let's see if I can get it to come back up. But what we've got here on the laptop is this is our basic dashboard, and I'm not sure if everyone can see, but this is a lamp that's in our office, so it's showing our office screen or our office view. And then this one here on the right is the last image that we got from the city of Las Vegas from the live or public parks that we were able to show. So I think maybe in our last meeting, Captain, they had allowed us to show a live stream or not. But anyways, with the new year, that pilot's effectively done. It's no longer a pilot, it's a real deployment. So we can't actually show the live streams anymore. So this is an example of the live stream from a lamp head in Las Vegas at a park. And to give you a little bit of background, in these parks, they had a lot of crime, they had a lot of incidents, they had some issues. And one of the things that we did was we deployed this platform here. And we've got a lot of inbuilt intelligence, so through the audio and video, microphone and camera, along with the speaker, we can listen to what's happening. We can do things like gunshot detection, glass break, tire screech, accident through the sound. But then also through the camera, we can do things like facial recognition, license plate recognition, vehicle detection, traffic analysis, crowd counts. Now, all of that depends on what you as the city want to do and what the citizen or the populace is accepting of, but the capability and the technology is here. So whatever it is you decide to do, typically the approach is let's take fiber out there, let's put up a camera, let's put up some traffic cameras to do red light detection, let's put up maybe a microphone to try testing gunshot detection. It all becomes very expensive. It's licensed, it's a big installation cost, and from that perspective, it's very prohibitive to public safety surveillance efforts. This is a one-time solution, competes directly with Axis in terms of the cost of one camera. So if you're looking at Axis Communications, which maybe is more familiar to law enforcement, they'll charge you to put up one camera. We'll take that price and match it for this lamp head here. And so with it, you're getting the gunshot detection, you're getting the audio detection, you're getting all the video surveillance capability and the internet capacity, so you're not paying LTE, Verizon, or paying that ongoing fiber cost to get a new build. And with that, I'll pause, and I wanted to see if there's any questions, concerns before I went
Real
on.
quick, the placement of those devices are going to be placed on light poles?
Yes, sir. Anywhere you have an existing light head, like when you're driving down US 40, you know they have the Cobra head lamps on the side of the road. We would take one of those down, and this is meant to be a full swap replacement. Take the existing one down, put this one up. All it needs is power, because that gives it the wireless connectivity. And then from a lighting control standpoint, I guess right now you guys are using like photocells or maybe timered lights. I'm not sure who would be in charge of that, but photocell or timered light is the typical deployment. So the light turns on at like 6 p.m., turns off at 6 a.m., or it does that when it sees sunlight. So what we've got here, and one of the things that Huntsville, Alabama, they just picked us up and they're doing a citywide deployment of this platform for their real-time crime center. And one of the things that they really liked was when we did our gunshot detection test with them against companies like ShotSpotter, companies like V5 gunshot detection, companies like Hitachi. Number one, we had a 7 out of hit rate with a sim gun. So, you know, sim gun's like a paintball round. It's really, really low report. And we were able to get 7 out of 8 in a range of 25 meters. So ShotSpotter got 1 out of 8 when it was 5 meters away. They missed the other 7. V5 got 1. You know, they missed 7 out of 8. But more importantly, what we were able to do is, and I'll share some pictures. I have their approval to do so.
I got a question. 25 meters. I wasn't great at math.
I was thinking
Let's
the
just say
same
about
thing,
100
Mike.
feet, 80 to 100 feet, somewhere in
Okay,
that
thank
range,
you.
give or take. Yes, sir. And so one of the things that they really liked is when the gunshot went off, we were able to do a multitude of things. Number one is we got an alert on our software. Number two, they got an email and a text message alert to their phone. And so they had 4 chiefs there. They had all the command districts. They all got messages. But in that message, there's a screenshot of the police officer holding the sim gun and me standing next to him. And I can share those pictures with you all. But that's important because a lot of gunshot detection solutions are just telling you, hey, we heard something over there. But ours is saying, hey, we heard and this is what we saw. More importantly, once that happens, we're able to do things like flash the light. And excuse me if you guys are looking at that, but flash the light, blare the speaker to tell people, hey, get out of the way. This is what's happening here. This is a crime center. There's an accident here. And now we're using that technology in places like the city of Lake Tahoe. Tahoe's got a lot of natural disasters, fire, avalanche, rock slides, snow, whatever it may be. And they only have 2 main roads in or out, and they have 0 cell connectivity. I drove 4 loops around it. I couldn't make a single call. So we're deploying this, number one, to replicate and help with cell phone connectivity. But more importantly, we're creating an early warning disaster system. And what that allows us to do is we've got, through that little rubber duck antenna you see there sitting at the top, that little box allows us to connect any and all IoT sensors that we want. Now we've got 2,100 sensors that we can use. Atmospheric, humidity, PM2.5, PM10, seismic detection, water levels, we can do water pressure sensors. I mean, you name it, we can do it. It's IoT, it's through an alliance, it's all certified and approved by the FCC. It's its own proprietary signal, its own proprietary stream, so you don't have to worry about data and security. And so what we're doing is we're taking seismic sensors, we're taking temperature sensors, CO2, smoke detection, and saying, hey, if we have anomalies here, we're going to send out an alert. And the alerts are automated. It'll say, hey, everyone, this is an evacuation protocol. And when that happens, we're flashing red lights and highlighting the exit route out and also blurring that protocol. If a road is shut down, we're letting people know, and it's a static red light or a blue light. And so there's lots of ways that we can leverage this one platform to do a multitude of city initiatives. Now, I've talked a lot about surveillance, public safety, law enforcement. Moving over to smart cities for a quick aside. Transportation, traffic analysis, crowd detection is great for businesses. You have, let's just say, McDonald's moving in. They want to know, where's the best place for us to put our restaurant? Well, you could tell them, hey, Main and Crane is the main intersection, and there's a lot of traffic there, but do we know how much? Do we know at what frequency? Are they going to be a 24-hour shop, or are they going to be an 11 to 11 shop? And so with this device, we can tell them how many cars pass through, how many people pass through, at what times, at what frequency, what are they doing there? So these are the types of smart city applications that we can do. When we move into core infrastructure, we're able to do free Wi-Fi, we're able to do private Wi-Fi, so we can enable a wireless network anywhere in the city so that a city official can connect so you're not burning up Verizon LTE. The other thing we can do is in areas where there isn't internet connectivity, library maybe, we can enable a public Wi-Fi in that area so people around, outside, and or inside can connect to free Wi-Fi powered by the city. You guys can then advertise on that, post public announcements through that. If you have bulletins, if you have wanted alerts, any sort of information can be put through that network or through that landing page on that wireless association. And so I'll just pause there again, see if there's any questions, make sure that was all digested appropriately, and see if I can help with any further concerns.
So every additional thing that we would get would cost more money. So,
No, actually,
so
what-
we went just with audio and the video. That would be one price.
Actually, sir, what happens is this unit comes to the standard price with everything inside of it. So when you put this up, you're going to get, just like we saw here at this dashboard, you're going to see your video streams coming back. You're going to see all your atmospheric sensors here. You're going to have your lighting control, and you're going to have the ability to control the speaker and the mic. Now, in terms of your ongoing licensing costs, I've got a software up here, which is one of the ones that we mentioned. This is Blue Force Command. And this is what's being used by a lot of special operators. It's what's used in NYC for New Year's Eve. They had this attached to canines. They're doing wearables, all types of different stuff. This is a partner software, and they have a list of analytic plugins here. And now these are powered by like Microsoft or Amazon. You know, you go to them and you buy your cloud services, and then you buy basically access to the brain. Right. And from that, that's where your ongoing monthly costs come in. For us, you buy the hardware, you buy the warranty, everything else works. You get your audio, your video streams. What you don't get is you don't get the automated intelligence. Now, that automated intelligence is a monthly fee, and it typically comes down to about a few dollars a month per camera. So, you know, if you've got, let's say, 200 cameras rolled out, you know, you can kind of crunch that math appropriately.
What is the automated intelligence?
So that would be like, so for example, you may have, let's say you're a real-time crime center up and you got 5 of these, and you may hear somebody shoot a gun and see it, and then you could say, hey, this happened at that, let's flash the light, let's send somebody out there. But if you're not manning that, we'd have the automated intelligence for the software, which would do that, for the most part, automatically. It is software, so it does have a little bit of glitch, but we have a human resource command center, which actually takes anything less than a 55% hit rate and sends it to us and says, you guys got to validate it.
That was actually one of the questions that I had in regard to other municipalities that you work with. What type of infrastructure do they have set up within their city for IT? Is it really their own unit and then you provide technical assistance, or do you actually post many of the commands from your own center?
So we're doing a little bit of both. So we really like showing off Blue Force here because they're really, really cheap. They're really flexible. You can put up, let's just say you do, I don't know, I'm just going to throw out, let's say you do 100 units. But for, let's just say 10 of them, you want like license plate and all the other functionality. Well, they'll just go to 10. They don't have to go to the whole solution. Now, if you go to like Genetech or whoever else it may be, they'll go to all of them, right? And don't quote me when I say Genetech. I know I'm being recorded, right? But anyways, it all just kind of depends on your existing infrastructure. City of Las Vegas, we worked with their public works department to install and set everything up. And then from an IT management and maintenance perspective, they said, look, we don't want to take any responsibility. We want zero liability. You guys take care of this. And so We've got 6 techs that we deployed in the city of Las Vegas that run full-time around the clock for them. Cities like Canton, Ohio, they want something fully automated, run to a real-time crime center where they're going to have somebody on site X amount of hours a day. Mansfield, Ohio, they want the automation. They're going to have somebody on site X hours a day, but they're not going to rely upon it. So they just want it there to expedite their efficiency. Like we said, it's give and take. City of Jacksonville, Florida wants everything fully automated. They're seeing a pretty significant or sharp reduction in physical resources or manpower presence. And so what they're saying is, hey, we want as much force multiplication ability as possible. And so what they're doing is they're putting out LPRs, they're putting out this, that, and kind of all the rest.
Is this, and we're in the state of New Jersey, I'm the purchasing agent, can this be purchased through any state contract or national contract?
Correct. So, I mean, the two that I'm most familiar with is because I've primarily done business Midwest, West Coast. Me personally are like NASCO and HGAC. But, you know, like we're on the U.S. Communities schedule as well. For Pennsylvania, they have Smart I can't remember what it's called.
Okay,
But they have,
I can check in
yeah.
there.
And if you guys tell us, we also have a lot of alliances with companies like Nokia, whoever, that have access to certain vehicles.
And then it's the actual product is bid, and then you get a separate company.
We actually can do it all, depending on how you guys are set up, whatever's easiest for you. So we try to make it very clear to you, we're not here to have a recurring revenue stream from you, we're here to provide a solution. In terms of the software and the functionality, if you guys want a managed solution from us, we can provide that separately. If you guys want software, whatever it is, and we can generate that to be passed through Wi-Fiber Direct, or we can hit you with 3-4 different quotes that say, hey, this is Wi-Fiber, this is Blue Force, this is the other company, and then there's an integration fee.
You said that this lamp unit, that's the way you describe it, that would be mounted on an existing telephone pole?
Light pole, yes, sir.
Light pole, have you been in touch with Atlantic City Electric?
We have had a couple, ACE, correct? Yes, we've had a few conversations with them. We've had some, like Allegheny is another one that we worked with, BGE, PG&E, First Energy. So, I mean, we're pretty fluent in talking to these guys.
I know from dealing with 5G technology in another town that ACE does allow providers to co-locate those, at least those services, so they might allow you as well.
Absolutely, and so, you know, we've got some references from companies like First Energy where we've had the product certified and vetted by them as a replacement to like GE, Phillips, Cree. So we can provide all the certifications like TL, UA, whatever it is, along with the FCC credentials so that this can be effectively installed.
What about maintenance on the units?
It's really simple. We don't believe in maintenance, so if the unit goes bad, we're just going to send you a new one that's part of the warranty. So it's all inclusive. Like, you know, the problem is if you want to send someone out to go replace or maintain this unit, the problem is not the unit itself, it's the bucket truck. That costs a lot of money and then the technician. So you're sending a bucket truck out there which is going to run you however many dollars an hour, plus the tech, and they're going up there and they're there for however many hours for maintenance. If we send a new unit out, 35 minutes up, down to the truck.
How many year warranty is it?
There's 3 and 5, and that's for the internal components. So the camera, the access point, the Zigbee radio are 3 and 5. The LED light, the power driver are 10 years, and then the shell itself is a 25-year warranty.
You said the word did you say LPR?
Yes, sir.
How does that work with that?
So there's 2 ways. One is we're doing aggregate LPR. So what we're doing is when you see a car come in, you're cueing the camera specifically to focus on the license plate. From the height of the light pole, it's a little bit tough to get accurate data every single time, especially when it's raining or snowing, right? So we always recommend that you put one up top and you put one lower down on the pole. And so we've got a micro camera. It's a lot smaller than that. It goes really low down on the pole and connects back to this and gives you the direct feed. So we actually sight it right on. So we know if it's an SUV or a car, the license plate's going to be at this height, and so we're sighting the camera to make sure it catches it every time. And that's actually the trickiest deployment out of all of them is the LPR. That's the trickiest one.
So let's put this in layman's terms. So it sounds like to me you're saying that you're better than ShotSpotter.
Absolutely.
Okay. Tell me why.
Well, number one is we can do more once we have the intelligence. Number two is we're using a variety of gunshot detection algorithms. So number one is, like I said, we do more. We're giving you the picture, we're flashing the light, we're blending the speaker. We're also be able to pass that through if you guys are using like Genetech, Milestone, whoever to aggregate video. All of that comes right back into your NetMotion to your squad car on your device, your GTAC or your Panasonic, whatever's there. ShotSpotter can't do that. Number two is we've also got a new Gen 2 embedded technology. So ShotSpotter's Gen 1 DARPA. There's another company called DataBuoy. They're Gen 3 or Gen 4 DARPA. And their whole motto is to take ShotSpotter out at the knees because they're super expensive in terms of deployment and ongoing recurring cost. So we've dealt with a lot of cities that spend, however, a lot of money to deploy it out and then an equal amount of money to keep it up and running every year. And that seems to be a big problem. The second is with our Gen 2, we're not only able to give you all the existing intelligence, but we can give you the direction of where it came from and the approximate GPS pin. So that company is DataBuoy. They're third or fourth gen. They've integrated their microphone into the base of our lamp here, and they can tell you where the shot came from. And so that's their whole motto is take ShotSpotter out. And I think what's really important is it's exponentially cheaper. We're an open source platform.
So you're saying this information is going through the officer's in-car computer,
As long as
not a cell phone?
Correct. And are you guys running net motion on the vehicles? I don't know. Okay. Well, as long as, so long story short, if they're running cradle point, net motion, any of that LTE type of connectivity, it'll work. If they're not, when you deploy this, anytime they're in range of this, it'll go directly because they'll be on network.
Oh, okay.
So there's two ways we can do it, and either way we can make that work. Perfect. So if you guys got the cradle points out there, you can do it without being in range of the lamp head itself. It'll come through the cloud.
So where have you had significant success? What cities are?
Huntsville, Alabama's our showcase city to date for law enforcement. City of Las Vegas is a big one. They've done, I don't know, a lot of work to date. I lived out there for almost 3 months just doing public safety, law enforcement, marshals type work. And that was all the parks. And to give you a quick recap, when you walk into a park in Vegas after hours, which is when majority of the problems happen, this is an LED light, so it's a lot stronger than a high-pressure sodium light. So when it's about 25% power, it's matching the luminosity or the brightness of your existing high-pressure sodium light. And so that's where we typically keep it. Now, parks are supposed to be closed after 6:30 p.m., sunset. So in Vegas, when we see off the camera motion in the parks after that time, the lights go to 100% and they flash like I showed you. More importantly, the speaker alert comes out, tells them they're in an unauthorized area, and all of that goes real time back through Milestone to the marshal's office, because marshals do everything from the sidewalk back in Vegas. And so that's one of the things that we're doing in the city of Las Vegas. Arlington County, we did a lot of public use, digital income, digital inclusion type work. And then from there, we also did a separate piece enabling law enforcement to connect back so they can do real-time support and real-time video streaming and real-time offload from their dash cam. So the issue is when they get back to PD, they got to leave the car there for like 4 to 8 hours so it can wirelessly offload. And we have the same type of problem in Huntsville, Alabama. They're pulling in, plugging the car into the actual, plugging the cable into the actual car, letting the offload that way. And so these allow them to do it all wirelessly pretty much real time.
So are there any other cities on the East Coast?
Any other cities on the East Coast? Ohio's not really East Coast. We're working really closely with the guys in Canton and Mansfield, along with Ontario. We did the city of New Britain, Connecticut, about 2 years ago. Arlington, Virginia. We did about 6 sites there. And then Jacksonville Beach is a new site we just rolled out on the East Coast. Salisbury, North Carolina, law enforcement as well.
Have you come into any areas where ShotSpotter was there previously?
Huntsville, Alabama, either Canton or Mansfield, Ohio. I want to say it's Canton or Mansfield that had ShotSpotter, but it could be Akron. Don't quote me. I can find out for sure. But I am quoted, so sorry.
Approximately how many units would it be projected that the city of Millville would need?
Sorry, I heard the voice back there.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm sorry. It all really just depends on what you guys are trying to do. We typically start and say, what are your major intersections? But again, we always look back to the leadership to kind of tell us what's the focus, where do we need to be, and we're young and dumb, so we're better at taking orders than kind of designing stuff like that.
And I apologize if I didn't catch this, but the cost per unit would be in the range of?
Yeah, it's roughly going to compete with your Axis camera. So, it's a few $1,000s a unit depending on volume. But again, that's all depending on volume, depending on scale, and depending on the exact configuration.
$3,000. That could be
Yeah.
2,000, 5,000, 7,000, 10,000.
Well, it's definitely, I'll
to
tell you what,
6,000.
it's definitely not above $5,000, no matter if you're buying a single unit or whatever. But we go as low as about $1,200 if you're doing significant volume. And then, when we sold to Vegas,
So the more the cheaper.
more the cheaper. But what I always tell people is if you let us know when, and I'm sorry to keep rambling, but if you guys let us know when you're planning to make a purchase, what we'll do is we'll go to our other clients and we'll tell them, hey, wait to do it until this time because then we can get you a better deal. And
we
so
can't
I'll be
partner.
very frank with you. Huntsville is going to do about 200 lamps at the end of Q1. City of Lake Tahoe is doing 200 lamps at the end of Q1 or early Q2. So sometime in that range, we're going to have great pricing through our contract manufacturers. And like, I'm not trying to be a sales guy here. I just want to be very transparent, you know?
I think the only issue that we look at with our poles, Atlantic City Electric will charge us to put something that the city owns on their pole.
Absolutely.
And I
yes,
don't know
sir.
if we have poles within the city that would hold something like that. I'm not really sure.
No, absolutely. It kind of goes both ways, and that's why Vegas, when we started, didn't own all their poles.
Right.
So they actually had us going into like walls and sides of buildings with this
Oh,
thing.
you can do that.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So you can put it up on a business.
Absolutely. We can put it up anywhere you want. I mean, hey, I did the actual drilling in Vegas myself. So I mean, I got up there, I punched a 2-inch hole in the brick wall, and we mounted this thing into it. But you know, it's a really mobile unit. You guys tell us where it needs to be: rooftop, side of building, mounted on a tree for all we care, as long as we got power.
You got a question from the chief?
Yes, sir.
I just want to clarify something with you, Mayor. With our LPRs, we did have to, with ACE, Atlantic City Electric, it took a long time to get the permission to use that. We just were very successfully, we just got permission for our LPR project to do that. So if it was something you guys decided to do, I think it will go along with that.
Very good.
And one of the things we've noticed working with the utilities is that they don't like it when you put stuff with lights on their poles, because that's how they make money, right? Because they have a standard rate. So what we've been doing a lot of now, and we learned this working with First Energy, is we're like, hey, we can save you all a lot of money on our device purchase by taking the lights out. And when you take the lights out, you don't need the mold, so you're stuck with a camera. You're stuck with a speaker, a microphone, and we've got a box that you just put on the pole that has all of that in it. So if ACE comes back and starts giving us problems on that, we can revert and not use the light. We can use an actual box that does the surveillance and the same functionality. And it's cheaper. That's roughly $1,000 a unit.
Would
Any
you?
other questions?
I do have one question, just about the outline of recurring payments. There are no recurring payments
Not to
associated
us.
with these devices.
Not to us. The only recurring payments are going to be for either, number one, if you guys go with a managed service, and that would come back to us. Typically, we do training, and we'll work with IT, we'll work with Public Works, law enforcement, public safety, whoever it may be, to train them, because really what's happening is someone's going to watch these monitors and wait for the alerts to come in. When there's a problem, you guys have a warranty. We're obligated by contract to take care of that problem. So typically what happens is the city ends up doing it independently. The recurring fees go towards the automated functionality. As we mentioned, the automatic alerting, if you want to do like license plate recognition, if you want to do automated gunshot detection, and that's where it's telling you what's happening without you having to diagnose information on the screen. And if that, yes, sir.
And you said if we were to leave AC's lights up, those units would be $1,000?
Roughly, because what we do is, and does anyone want to see any more demonstration of that? Because I'll unplug it before I start taking it apart. But it all pops out pretty quickly.
Oh, you're here. Might as well show us.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, you guys saw it flash, and then I'll pull
Be
up.
careful, Mary. There's a bullhorn on there.
And so let's see if this thing will, if it'll start tracking me again. But this is a motion sense camera, and unfortunately, I'm not in the best area. Wrong way. Come on, come back to me. There you go. And so this is our standard motion sense camera. So it'll do stuff like keep tracking me while I walk around. And if you see, it'll keep me in its range of motion for the most part. Now, of course, not how it'll work because it's there. But anyways, now it's starting to move. There you go. So it'll track you. It'll do stuff like if you tag it to me, and it's set for ambulatory vehicular motion. This is a demo camera. It's 2 years old, so we've got faster and more efficient cameras now. This is 2K, not 4K, so you can get an understanding. It's only about half capacity of what we can really do. You guys saw the lights flash. We mentioned some of the atmospheric stuff. If you want to see a quick demonstration on the lighting control, let me just run through that really quick. If you're looking at the screen here, what really happens is we put the schedules in here for timing in terms of when sunset is and when sunrise is. And that'll be standard. We'll typically do it by day and allocate it to the weather service. So every morning you get sunrise at 6:28, sunset at this, and the light will just match that. More importantly is when you have actionable intelligence. This is where we get into the AI. So we'll write custom scripts for you here, like when you get an inbound alert that says gunshot or whatever, flash the light, blare the speaker with this sound file. And we provide all that a la carte. It's something that we do. But to actually enable the automated recognition, that's the ongoing monthly recurring fee. And that's a separate software like Blue Force or Genetec. But then to really quick, just to give you guys an overview, you pull up your lighting control, you can access each node individually. And this is what Jacksonville Beach was really interested in, because they have a use case where the turtles come out and they nest and lay eggs underneath the lamp heads. And then they have to turn off the lamp before they kill the turtle eggs. And the problem is somebody has to literally go out when the turtles are in season and check to see. Every day somebody's got to go do a survey. Is there turtles underneath this light? Turtles underneath this light? And if they find there is, then they got to go back out there with their expensive bucket truck, and they got to go up the light, and they got to literally disconnect it, and then put it back because it's all water and all the rest of it. And then they wait till that turtle's eggs have hatched. Then they go. So that's against survey. And then they go back out there, and then they put it back up and install it with their bucket truck and give it power. So what we've said is, I don't know why you guys are doing that, because we can, if everyone wants to look away, we can go from 100%, we can go down to 80%, we can go to 60%, 40, 20, all wirelessly. We can flash this thing, we can turn it on and off. I mean, you know, and it all just comes down to the simplicity of the device. So we can do all of that from here. And when you get into it, we get color changing lights, we get speaker functionality. I mean, you name it, we can do it. And our big thing is, from a smart city perspective, you have power, you have internet. At any of these lamp heads, you can do whatever you want. Cameras, speakers, microphones, yes, sir.
So a person could tap into internet if they're near that?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. And that's kind of the premise of this, was to enable private city wireless or networks for functions like secure offload for dash cams, intercity connectivity, to prevent ongoing LTE costs, and then to leverage that dark fiber that usually cities have pre-existing. So, you know, we work with a lot of cities. They put $10 million, $15 million into the ground for dark fiber, and 99.8% of that is left unused. Well, this is a great way to use it. And so you start getting that ROI back.
And you said it's private Wi-Fi then?
Correct. Well, it all depends. You can do public, you can do private. So if it's set up for law enforcement, we can do private. And then if you want to do, for example, a second Wi-Fi off of the same head, we can. But all we say is give us another fiber with another access point so we can have a different source so we're not crossing traffic.
We'd have a wired city.
There you go. And so all we do is plug these in.
Smart city.
Or these lights have to be or to have this.
So, I mean, if we're actually talking about replacing the light itself, you know, if ACE lets us do that, you know, about every 250, 300 meters apart. But we all can also do different variations. So,
What is that?
200, yeah, so
Thank you.
250, yeah, so about like 350, I think, feet, right?
Remember,
Yeah, we actually changed it from the last time we met. There we go. So yeah, so I was like, wait, yeah, that sounds about right. But we changed our radio in there, so we have a little bit more range. And Huntsville's the reason, by the way. Their lamps are just like 200, 210 apart, and we're like, all right, we got to change this. But we can do a number of different things. So Canton, Ohio, they have 4 different sites that they're doing. Each site is 0 line of sight to the other one. There's no way to interconnect them through our platform. It's just too many trees, too much nonsense, too many elevation changes. And so what we've done is we've just gone and we've set up independent gateways at each one and then launched these off different strands or different chains. And so we can get really flexible in terms of the deployment. As long as you mentioned you have a wired city, we'll figure out some way to get to it.
Nice.
Any questions? Any other questions?
Yeah, I have more questions.
Yes, sir.
I'm a little bit more interested in the level of success. I hear you talk about Las Vegas, I hear you talk about Huntsville, but I'm not really hearing any numbers.
Okay.
I'd like to hear some numbers if you have those numbers available.
Yes, sir.
What the rate of reduction was when you went in, what it was, what happened after a period of time.
So
I really want to hear
Huntsville's
about
doing
that.
200 lamp heads. And numbers, you're looking for price?
No, I'm looking for your level of crime reduction.
Reduce
Oh,
crime.
you know what? To be
Yeah.
honest, I don't know if I can. In Vegas, I can tell you specifically what crime reduction is in those parks. At our other sites, I couldn't tell you right now. It's a little bit premature. We probably have to wait about another 60 to 90 days to really get some relevant data.
How old is the company?
We're 3 years old here stateside. We're 15 years old internationally. We have completely separate back end, completely separate patents, infrastructure, ownership, all the rest of it. But it's important to mention that we did well internationally because that's where we got our money to start here. And so internationally, we did a lot of carrier point-to-point supplementation for companies like Vodafone, Airtel, Aircell. And really what that means is they were paying too much to trench fiber to put a small cell. So we put one of our access points, went 50 kilometers, put another access point, and then plugged in their small cells so they could do cellular connectivity. And so we've got 980,000 devices deployed globally now. Here in the States, we've got about 1,200 devices deployed, primarily all lamps. Internationally, it's all access points. So, you know, it is a growing product, it is a growing line. And to be very, very honest, you know, we've had success, limited success in the few cities we have, and I say limited because we haven't had enough time to let the solution grow out.
So what problems have you had with it?
Number one problem that we've had is vandalism. So City of Las Vegas, I mean, they beat these lamps up. We had people shoot at them. We had people swing baseball bats at them. We had people swinging off them, no exaggeration, trying to bring them down. And to be very frank, the lights have been up for 2 years in Vegas, and even after all the damage, they still continue to work. We haven't actually done a full replacement on that yet because they haven't called in the warranty. Aside from that, the other issue we've had is being able to get internet at cities. So a lot of the cities that we work with, and part of the reason that our deployment history in terms of and amount of time deployed, when we don't have that relevant data that you're looking for, is because we are working with a lot of cities, they don't have their IT infrastructure the way that they would like to have it to do a seamless deployment. So we spend a lot of time figuring out, well, hey, dark fiber's here at this corner. Okay, great. And we go out there and we plug into the dark fiber, and there's nothing on it. So there's dark fiber, but it's not lit. It's not connected to a gateway. It's not actually connected to internet. And so then it's re-understanding, well, we didn't originally anticipate this cost, but you know, you as a municipality told us you had internet here. Now we have to go back to the drawing board. Sometimes the other major issue we have is in terms of storage. You're doing it physically on site here in your municipality, or you're going to the private cloud, whether it's Microsoft or Amazon. And if you're going here locally, well then that's a whole different set of problems compared to if you're going to the cloud, which is another set of problems. And these are all things that we're very able to work through. In the last 12 months, we've been onboarded by companies like Nokia and Microsoft. So Nokia, you know, they do what, like $11 billion a year. Microsoft, God knows how much they do. But when we do orders now, we're financially backed from a project management and an order standpoint by Nokia and Microsoft. And so they'll they will always come in, do the project management, secure the funding, act as the contract and procurement vehicle, and take complete control of the project. And in that instance, we become a subsidiary or secondary. The reason I'm here in front of you today and not Nokia is because we're not at a true buy cycle or buy stage yet. And so, you know, until we get there, they typically don't engage.
So start to finish, if we were to purchase this, what's the time frame of getting them up, getting them working, and so on?
Well, you guys got really talented guys over here in this corner, so I'm pretty confident we get there within a quarter. You know, we did a site, when we did Las Vegas, when we did our first deployment, it was 3 sites. I got all of them done personally in 30 days. That included getting internet out there, getting power out to the poles, mounting them, drilling holes, doing the software integration, all the rest. So, you know, it all just depends on how many we're doing, what functionalities. LPR takes longer. You got a site, you got to test it. You know, each LPR unit takes a couple of days to make sure it's done right. But, you know, from a very simple perspective, you just want to get these up and working. I mean, 30 days, we can have a good number of them up.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a couple more questions.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Bruce.
So that 25 meter test you were talking about versus shot spotter, the data was a little different
Yes,
between.
sir.
Is there a name for that test?
Oh, we just did they went out in the parking lot. I had this in the back of my truck, no exaggeration, set up to this hotspot just like it is, and they were shooting off sim guns. So I mean, they just did a gunshot test. They actually called it a shot spotter test. Probably not the best thing to call it.
So it is a shot spotter test.
Yeah.
Am I able to pull that up? Am I able to see
Huntsville?
that? Is there any way I can see that?
I have some pictures of it if you'd like me to share them.
Sure.
Absolutely. Give me a few minutes here, and let me just get it sent in so I don't have to pull up my whole email for you. Actually, you know, let me just do it this way.
Bruce, what's the comparison of a sim shot and a regular shot? What's the difference?
Regular shot is way.
That's what I mean. That's the question.
And I can also put you in touch with Officer Chris Luzak. He is the gentleman that has been bringing us in and kind of running all of our procurement and our project management today.
That part is impressive about this thing. I still like to see what the numbers are.
All right.
Seeing it.
Give me a second here.
My question is about the sim shot.
Yes, sir.
How close is that to a regular 40 caliber shot?
Not at all. It sounds like a paintball gun. It's,
Well, that's, okay.
yes, sir. It's really, really small in terms of its report. So if you just give me 1 second here, I'm just trying to get this all loaded up.
My question, how many years old is it? Maybe Bruce may know this. What was the area that shot spotted was in the cover? They gave us like a 5-mile area or something.
And I actually mentioned to Huntsville that I was going to be out here and that we would be leveraging or mentioning what we did out there with them. So Chris, his name's Chris Luzak. He's down in Huntsville. He's the guy that's running the show for pretty much all of our stuff. Yes, sir.
We're discussing here to try to figure out, to cover the city of Millville, what we're looking to cover, Center City and maybe out the outskirts of it. How many cameras, and I know you can't give us a hard number, but a guesstimate of what it would cost to create something like this?
Any idea on the square kilometer or square mileage of the territory, the area?
Captain?
Well, we're looking at shots by Center City, 3 square miles.
3 square miles. I mean, each of these units can do roughly a square block in terms of Wi-Fi coverage. Camera coverage is all depending on, are you looking at major intersections? Are you looking for each alleyway? You know, it all depends on what we're trying to do.
Well, what I envision is, we're actually working on an HCDC grant, $60,000 from Center City Tackle Crime. And I envision this as replacing the HID lamp heads with brighter LED lamp heads. And if when I came across this and all the other capabilities that it has, I envision putting it in the higher crime areas first. Then you can space them out. You can put one on each end of a block, facing
Absolutely.
to cover a whole block with the cameras.
And one of the other things that we can do is double stack a camera in there if you guys would like. So if you want to do, you know,
What was that, double what?
double stack a camera. So now that I'm done with the demo, I'll actually just disconnect this phone so I don't, by mistake, electrocute myself. But,
Or Barry.
That's the picture.
but this is all modular, so this all comes out.
Oh, that's in fire.
And the camera comes out too, but it's mounted in by 3 screws, so I didn't bring my screwdriver with me.
So that's the
But,
sim gun there.
There's 3 screws to keep it secure, but I'll bring this up here so you guys can get a handle on it. Am I allowed to approach?
Yeah, you can. You have to genuflect it.
All right, well, here you are, sir. And this is, you know, this is our little radio control. We mentioned the Zigbee that does the 2100 sensors. That's the power driver, and that's the LED.
I'm
So
going to ask again. Can we get a guesstimate of how many you think we may need?
3 square miles, I think you guys, I mean, how many major intersections do you have, sir, in those 3 square miles?
That's hard to say. I was looking at 2 a block probably, for each inner city block.
I think that sounds about right.
Well, with
You're talking 100, 200, like,
with Holly City Development Corporation, they actually proposed through the parcel survey through the Wells Fargo Grant Foundation. So they probably actually also have some blocks that the police department has probably collaborated would be some areas of focus. I do have one question though about the license plate recognition camera. Have you incurred a lot of damages considering that they're a lot lower? What's the height on the pole compared
it's roughly
to?
4 to 6 feet. I mean, it can get up to 10 feet. You know, it all just depends. You know, if we're looking at like a traffic signal, a lot of times when you're doing that red light detection, it's coming from that intersection or that instance on the pole because it's the overhang pole with the traffic light. So that's typically at like 15 to 18 feet. So it can get up to that height, but you're only going to get one shot at it then. So we keep it a little lower sometimes because then you get up to 15 frames of that license plate, which really helps narrow it down. But you know, it all just kind of depends on what's required. We can cite it and do it any which way you guys want.
I'm still smiling because I haven't gotten a number or anything near one.
The number of units for 3 square miles. How many city blocks on average do we think? Gunshot detection, facial, I mean, gunshot, regular surveillance, Wi-Fi, just lighting.
Let's just start with a camera.
Just start with a camera. So, you know, let's just say I said 25, 30 meters. If you're doing them each here, let's do 100 meters because you'll get 50 and you'll get a little bit of cross coverage. So every 100 meters, 3 square miles, that's 4.8 kilometers, 4,800 divided by 48 cameras, 50 cameras roughly to cover the main intersection.
50 cameras.
And that's a start. If we want to go further, we can go. And cameras can be added later on, I mean, to extend the
Absolutely.
Hold on, Mary. Hold on. Any other questions?
Not this time.
No? Mary, you have to go to the mic. You have a question? Thank you.
I understand through your presentation you were talking about the difference between the simulation of a paintball gun as to oppose of a regular gun. So that seems to be a little better than what ShotSpotter does, but at the same token, we know what the cost of ShotSpotter is going to cost us. What is the differential to the point of the savings of going with your company, since you guys are providing basically 50% more product for the same amount of money?
Absolutely. And so we'd have to really take a look to understand, because, I'm sorry, let me get back up here. We'd have to really take a look to understand what the territory is. ShotSpotter is going to tell you they have to be within a certain range to do the ping report. It's got to have a certain triangulation to it. So we really have to take a look and see. The real advantage to ours is that if you spend, let's just say, X on ShotSpotter to deploy it, you're probably spending 0.6X on ShotSpotter every year to keep it up and maintain it. You spend X on us year 1, you spend 0 on us year 2. So right there, that's our benefit. On the licensing side of it, it's very significantly less expensive to use the software partners that we've put out there compared to anyone else. And part of the reason is we do high volume negotiation. Yes, sir.
How long have your cameras? I know you're not that extensive here in the U.S., but in other countries, how long have they lasted?
Our longest deployment to date is 9 years on the access point. So it's been up for 9 years. We've got cameras that have lasted. We started manufacturing cameras 7.5 years ago. So like right around the middle of 2012, middle of 2011. And so our cameras from them still work. This is a camera that was made in like 2011, I want to say. So this is a really old camera. But, all of our gear is certified. It's under warranty. Like I said, we're backed by Nokia. We're backed by Microsoft. We've got significant lines of credit with known banks, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Capital One, whoever it may be, that can provide letters of recommendation and letters of financial stability for our corporation as well. And typically what we do is, if you guys are going to do a large procurement through us, most contracts, if you're doing through city, state, local, and even federal, is not until delivery. So, you guys aren't on the hook until we deliver anyways, right? But that's the way I look at it. We can offer a variety of assurances. We can offer a variety of references. And while I'm on that, I've got on the screen back here, sir, the picture of the gentleman. And if you see here, you can see the taillight of my truck there. And this is literally in the back of my Chevy. But he's over there shooting off the paintball gun.
Were you ducking over there? Is that why you're behind the taillight?
Well, actually, this is a really funny story. So they installed one at the impound lot, but they forgot the control platform. And, Public Works guy was doing it. He wasn't brought up to speed. PD told them install this light, and no one kind of knew what to do. So he went out there and installed this light. Great. But then it didn't work. And so they're like, what's going on? Anyway, so we went out to do this test, and we were planning on doing the light at the impound lot, but we couldn't reach it. We had all these problems. And it's 600 meters away, so it's not supposed to work. So anyways, pull up to the police department, secure lot, set all this up, and we start doing this test, and our lamp head, which is 600 meters away, which is not supposed to work, started responding and flashing and blaring the speaker for this gunshot test, which we did in the back of the parking lot, which is kind of funny. But that's one picture, and then I'll show you another one that I got up here as well, and that's the second report. So you can see he's pretty far away, but let me see if I can zoom in and we can get... See, it's a little bit fuzzy, that picture, but you can see he's shooting the report off there, and I'm looking so unstylish in my yellow. But, this is just an example of what we can do. And like I mentioned, we told Mr. Chris Luzak, who's the gentleman we were working with, that we would be out here today with you all.
Why are you purposely shooting it up in the air? Usually when they're shootings, they're not doing this.
Yeah,
unless they want to scare people. But usually it's down here. So would that be a difference?
That's TJ Hooker.
No, I think You know, I mean, I guess that's how they tested the shot spotting device. Is they just shot it up in the air, and it's a paintball gun. You know, so I mean, I guess they didn't want to hit me. Maybe they did. I don't know. But everyone wants to shoot the contractor, right? But
So your device is 600 feet away, reacted to this shot.
that was no. This is a 30-meter range, sir.
Oh,
This is a
30
30-meter.
meters.
Yes, sir. 30 meters. With the sim gun, we can't go any further than that. We wouldn't hear it.
Right.
Yes, sir.
I was about to
And
say,
even at
now,
30 meters, man,
I
we
would
missed
really
that.
be impressed at that.
Yeah, 30 meters, we missed that last one. So, you know, we did, I don't know, I want to say the last one that we nailed was at like 23 or 24, and it barely detected. I mean, it was like, it showed up red. So that's really, really low on our reader. Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, I just have one more question. Just
Absolutely.
to clarify,
That's what I'm here
as a
for.
point of clarification, you had mentioned that with ShotSpotter, you have your first, I guess, disbursement of funds for the initial purchase, but each year you're paying 0.6 of whatever the cost
Roughly.
was.
Correct.
But in order to have the gunshot detection feature and have that capability, we would need to sign on for
There
annual
would be.
services.
And to give you a rough cost estimate, let's just say you guys are to do 50 cameras, you'd be at less than $1,000 a month, I believe. So like less than $12,000 a year for all 50 cameras with the gunshot detection is what I believe would be the approximate cost. And so at that rate, you know, you're never going to get up to what ShotSpotter's charging. We looked at a city that did, I mean, not your city, but we looked at another city that did less than a square mile, and the cost was in the 100,000 mark, and the recurring was somewhere around there as well. And so that's a really small area and a lot of recurring costs for that minimum.
I do have another question, actually.
Absolutely.
With the other municipalities in which you had worked, did they have any type of an IT capability study that they conducted prior to finding out whether or not they were actually capable? They had the existing infrastructure to carry this program.
Yes and no. So a lot of times I think it's a little bit disjointed in the approach. So some cities we talk to, everything's all organized into one neat package. In some cities, well, OMB is not managing it all. So the departments are procuring independent. I know we've talked to certain cities where PD has their own network and the city has a different network. You know, we've worked in some cities in California where it's all run through the city. So PD is sharing core infrastructure with the city. It all just depends. And what our core thing to do is before we do a deployment is we're going to come out, we're going to ask for your fiber maps, we're going to ask for your deployment territory, we're going to ask to do a site survey, we're going to ask you to walk through where do you want, because you know, you're not going to want maybe gunshot detection at every intersection. You want them at the core intersections. You may not want them out wherever they may be. You may not want LPR at every intersection. You may not want crowd count at every intersection.
If we were to purchase 50 cameras, what would be the cost per device?
I want to say 50 cameras, be roughly, you guys would be roughly around 100K purchase, I want to say. And I think that would include the warranty, but I'd have to double check.
And the more we purchase, the cheaper it would get? What if we were to partner with another city?
Oh, I mean, that cost comes down. That cost comes down. That cost comes way down. And like I was mentioning, if you look at your typical GE or Philips or Cree lamp head, the light with the control is rough. Like the light's like $600 or so. The control is like another $100. So take $750. We've done a lot. Well, not done. But we've put in a lot of estimates for cities like Las Vegas that are going to do 200,000 lamp heads now, and their cost per lamp is roughly $1,000.
Any other questions?
Not
So what are, so I know you're dependent primarily on the internet. What's the backup?
So the backup is this is still internet mesh. So the internet is only required if you want to go live with like this AI type solution, right? If you're just looking to stream the audio video back, we don't need the internet at all. We can just stand up those access points. We can create what we call the intranet. And for those of you that are technical in the room, that access point creates DHCP, which means that it gives individual leases and addresses to any device that connects. So you don't need internet. You can put those up and you can create an offline intranet and still bring all of that data back to your physical local data center. You just won't push it to the cloud.
All
And so
right,
you
be
can
loud,
still do that.
Marcia. You have a question out here.
Yeah, I just want to.
She's our CFO.
How much the managed service cost? Because I believe the ShotSpotter includes the managed service.
Correct. And so our managed service is going to be scaled upon devices. So for 50 lamps, roughly per month, I mean, you guys would be at roughly $1,000 or less per month, somewhere in that range. So I mean, if you coupled in the managed service with the automated services, you're looking at like $25,000 a year or something like that. But typically you go one or the other, because if you're buying the managed services, then you've already got the warranty with it, and so you don't really want to buy the managed service. Typically buy the warranty and then the AI. The warranty and then the AI.
You have another question?
I'm sorry, let me get out of the way here. I'm going to go back that way.
4 questions.
Yes, sir.
First one, let's think about it. When are you guys doing the gun detection there, and when did you
Mr.
start?
Carty, give us your name.
Tim Carty, Millville, New Jersey.
Absolutely. So, are we doing gunshot detection there? Yes, we are. Our first pilot was started there in, I want to say it was like end of 2016 or early 2017.
Okay.
Because I was there partly.
Okay, because I was just wondering, because Las Vegas just signed another 1-year extension with ShotSpotter.
Correct, yes, sir. But that's actually, that's the Strip, Las Vegas. That's like Paradise, you know, where like the Bellagio and all of those are.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're working with the old city of Las Vegas, so the Golden Nugget, and of course I'm going to forget the rest of them now. But the Plaza, those areas, I apologize.
Okay, then you were talking about Canton. Canton just resubscribed to ShotSpotter.
Correct, and they're the other city I was talking about that spent quite a bit of money, and we're actually doing our work right now to prevent them from repurchasing ShotSpotter in the new fiscal year.
Okay, Jacksonville just went with ShotSpotter. I'm just clearing this up. Just
Ask him the questions, Tim. We're here.
Okay.
And also, just to clarify, Jacksonville, the city, went with ShotSpotter. Jacksonville Beach has not gone
Right.
with ShotSpotter, and we're working with Jacksonville.
now, my
Beach.
other question is, with the gun detection, could that data go to other agencies like the state police up at the
Absolutely.
Regional Operations Center?
So we've got 2 ways to do that. We can actually bring it through our software control API out to anyone that wants it. The second is we can give a real-time stream, RTSP, from our device back to anyone's stream or anyone's control platform that's working.
Okay, how is your data stored? Is it stored on the cloud? Is it stored on the police department servers?
Yeah, it depends on what you guys decide. City policy, local policy, depending on what is preferred or what has been mandated.
And
That's
how many
4. That's 4.
Hold on, I got 2 more, Mr.
Come on,
Mayor.
you said
Hey, man,
4.
that's what I'm here for. Get him out, guys. Let's go, right?
Okay, how many square miles does the gun detection cover, or is it just covered when the cameras are up?
No, so the gun, we have 2 ways, or 3 ways to do the gunshot detection. We can do audio only, we can do audio video, and then we can do what we're calling third-party audio, which is the triangulation solution. And so you can extend it as far as you want. Our largest network internationally is 1,200 square kilometers. So you give us enough fiber, you give us enough poles, and mount on, we'll make it work.
Okay, and you were talking about Huntsville. How was that test going compared to ShotSpotter? Because ShotSpotter doesn't shoot, when the police departments do their actual gun detection tests, once it's in service, they do not shut the gun in the air. They shut it and they shoot it the same exact way that police officers.
I understand. This is what we were exposed to. They said they tested ShotSpotter in the same parking lot in the same way. So, you know, I don't know how to respond to that, but they told us the results they got from ShotSpotter. And like I said, I'm more than willing to put you all in touch with Mr. Corey Harris, who's the deputy chief out there, and then also Chris Luzak, who's the guy that's running the real-time crime center procurement, and then actually running the procurement for all of our gear and solutions.
Okay, and you said the 1 square mile for the gun detection was $90,000.
That was roughly what I remember coming out of for camp. That's not for us.
Okay.
And that's, I mean, maybe that's about right for us as well. I'd have to double check, but I want to say that's about right.
So-
You said 1 square mile, correct?
Right.
That was for ShotSpotter.
Okay. The
And
other.
that might be up or down by like a fractional percentage, but I'm not sure.
And the other question is, with the gun detection, does it give the GPS location? Okay. And how accurate is your GPS location?
Every lamp is GPRS enabled, so it'll tell you where the ping came from. If it came from a lamp like 110, it'll tell you where lamp 110 is on an actual lamp.
Okay, what happens if you're in a dark alleyway and how's that going to?
So the actual recognition is going to come from a unit embedded in our lamp. So if there is no lamp, we're not able to do it.
Okay.
So none of our units, right? You get what I'm saying? So
Right, so it's not like ShotSpotter. If I set up 3 square miles and there's a gunshot in a dark alleyway, it's going to give the GPS and coordinates compared to you guys that.
yes and no, right? So I mean, like, look, if you got, depends. Like, if I got a lamp right here in the dark alleyways there, I'll hear it. We'll hear it. We'll get your report back. But if you've got a dark alleyway that's half a mile away from the closest lamp, probably not going to hear it. Especially if it's a rural area. Now, if it's an urban area, we get the echo. We'll hear it, but then we can't guarantee that it's the right location again. And ShotSpotter's still got that pulse wide range as well. And I'm not trying to be confrontational. I just want to.
No, I'm just asking questions
No, no,
because I've been doing research for gun detection for the city for 3 years.
Absolutely.
And I've never heard of your company doing gun detection.
No, I understand that. We're literally 3 years old. We founded here in the States October 2015. So to date, that makes us 3 years and what, like 3 months, 4 months. But you know,
Tim,
we won CES
Tim,
last year.
you have one more person behind you, Kim Cardy. So let her give her questions. If you want to talk to him
No,
afterwards,
that's all
we
right.
can.
She's got more important ones.
Thank you, Tim.
Regarding how long we've been around, you know,
Yeah,
one
yeah,
of our
yeah,
crowning
yeah.
recognitions is we won CES 2018. So we got a lot of recognition, we got a lot of deployments.
Yeah,
I'd love to show you some references and catch up offline if that'll help. Thank you.
All right, so my name's Kim Cardy. He's got to go home with me, so he has to get out of my way. So I have two kind of bucket questions, right? So one, who ultimately pays for the bandwidth for internet and for the power, and then what does that cost look like? I'll stop there because the next bucket's different.
Yeah, and so really it's going to come back to whoever is, long story short, so the city typically pays for the utility consumption. Whether you've got a standard rate for how many lights are up there, you pay. Typically, we understand you pay a standard rate for that. Now, it changes city to city. But the majority of cities we work with, they have X amount of lights. They pay X amount of dollars per month per light as a standard rate. For the internet, it's the same thing. So we try to leverage as much existing infrastructure as we can. One of the things we're working with on companies like First Energy is our energy consumption level, because what we've seen is even if you replace a high-pressure sodium light with an LED light, if you're in a long-term rate contract with your public utility, they don't change the rate they pay you, even though you're using less energy. So you have and sorry for the aside, but let's just say you have a high-pressure sodium light up, and you've got a 10-year contract for power on that pole. If you as a city take that light down and put an LED light up, from my understanding, unless your contract is different, they won't change the rate for that LED versus the high pressure. And so typically the city's the one taking the cost of that.
That's just another thing that we would have to investigate, right? So the next set of questions I have is really more about the IT risk and security aspect of it. So one thing that you said concerns me a little bit in the fact that a proprietary system negates the concern of security, and in my experience, that's not true. So I'd like to know how you can qualify that statement. And then in the same vein, obviously there's going to be lots of data that would be secure to the police department kind of bouncing around this wireless mesh. How are you securing that? Is it encrypted at rest? Is it encrypted in transit? So what are those security mechanisms that you have in place to ensure that the police department's data does remain secure?
So I'll start with the camera. So all camera RTSP is encrypted or encoded from the start before it goes out. So the key would ride on the camera and on our server, or whoever's receiving that RTSP feed. In terms of the proprietary system, our solution is not proprietary. All of our architecture is open source, so all of our gear is built on Raspberry. It's Linux. It's an Apache Ubuntu mainframe for the controller management that we showed you, that was orange. So that's all open source. The only two things that are proprietary, the design and the power, and of course the wireless transmission protocol. So that algorithm's ours. So we put up that access point, and that's not, you can't go online and buy a Wi-Fi access point as a consumer. You can only buy that if you're a local city, state, local, federal government. And so one of the concerns that we see is that you can't go out and we say it's a closed system. Well, it's closed because no one else has access to that wireless algorithm. So if that's not broadcasting, and let's say 802.11 Wi-Fi is turned off, you can't go get like a Cisco device or buy one of our devices and snap into that wireless mesh. It won't happen. And from that perspective, we've got security, anti-intrusion, all the rest of it done from our management platform in our cloud. And then when we store our data, it's usually done typically in the Microsoft Azure or the Amazon government cloud. So it's got a lot of law enforcement, public safety, security departments along with it. That way we can hand off a lot of that. Or we're going to store it back locally at the PD or at the department that's managing or purchasing it. So it just kind of depends on how the city's set up or how the purchase is set up.
So being Linux, I guess one of the concerns I would have is how you avoid malicious activity like botnet activity. And
Kim, can you talk into the microphone
yeah,
so we can hear
sorry.
you?
So I was saying with it being Raspberry and Linux, one of the things that I think I would be concerned about is botnet activity, which if you don't know about, I'm happy to explain. It's probably a little bit too much here. So I'd be concerned about that. in what assurance, and you don't have to answer now, but I want the commission to hear the concerns, right? Because there's security concerns around the data that I think you need to be considering, right? The data needs to be secured. How do we keep our cameras from becoming part of a botnet attack, a DDoS attack? It's Linux, it's open source, so while the algorithm might be proprietary, you still have some open source considerations. There's a bigger picture here, I think, that we just need to keep in mind. And the other question I had is, how are you controlling your supply chain to make sure that there's nothing malicious embedded in the supply, especially since you're buying in such a bulk situation? That was my last question, so I'll go sit down.
Thank you.
So I'll start with
Can I interject real quick too? What I'd like you to do, Kim, as you always have, compile questions. I know other questions are going to fire off into your head, and really make a collection to present to you, and get these answers as we, as a commission, consider, because any question that's going to further give us greater information, I think our decision is going to be helpful.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and not to disrupt, I'm not trying to be negative. I think we have to look at all the available technologies that are out there. It's a big purchase, and it's a young company, so I think we just need to go in eyes wide open and ask the right questions. And you can't know what you don't know, right? I don't even know all the questions. I went to my cyber guys in my company, because I work in a risk and information security department, to say, what questions do I need to be answering and asking? So absolutely, you can't know what you don't know. So supply chain, that was my last question.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'll start with the supply chain. So everything is number one, no China, no Israel, to make it simple for U.S. procurement. Every piece of equipment that's shipped is certified, inspected, and QA'd in Jacksonville, Florida, which is where we do our local assembly, manufacturing, and shipping from. So every piece is touched by a U.S. citizen in the U.S., and then it's also assembled here as well. Second, going into the security of it, you can't technically, we're not going to be, let's back this up. I'll start with the ideal environment. If we're not deploying Wi-Fi, so for example, we're not enabling PD or anyone to connect to the internet signal, well then from that perspective, on a breach or security issue, I would say that, hey, you've got limited access to the system, and every system has to exist inside of a closed environment, firewall, router, existing topology and security. I'm not a routing or networking engineer, so I can't get down to some of the specificity you'd like, but I'd love to get you in touch with a guy called Vin Diesel, who runs our IT department and routing and networking. But that's what they always tell me is, the first thing is, how are we enabling access to this network? Is it 802.11? If it is, well, that's a whole separate concern. We've got a whole separate protocol for that. If we're not, well, then our main concern is, who's hosting it? Where does it sit? Because that's where you're going to get access to it. If you want to do bots, you want to do the rest of it, typically you're going to have to get in from that perspective, because really the only way to get to our lamp is to climb up the pole and play with it. And even then, to get into it, you need credentials, username, password, and it is Linux, it is Raspberry Pi, but all of our techs, or all of our lead techs are, let's just say they don't just have to do things in English. So there's a lot of different ways that we can do things to make it secure. And I'll stop there. I'll wait for a list of specific questions or concerns, and I'll let our IT department engage the rest.
Well, you've been very thorough. We appreciate it. We kept you longer than we needed to, I guess, but it's good that the citizens get involved and ask those questions, so we appreciate you coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And, in my role, it's good if it takes a little bit longer, right?
Absolutely.
Great.
And Mike, I want to also say special thanks to Captain Bear
Absolutely.
and Chief Farabella for bringing this man about and doing the research. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for the opportunity. My pleasure.
You're welcome.
And
Safe
I hope
trip
it's
back.
okay. Should I wait to pick all this up?
Yeah, you can grab it now if you want.
Sure? All right.
Yeah,
well,
we'll move on right while you're here.
I don't want to
No
be
big
an
deal.
interruption. Thank you so much, sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And this is your card.
Take care.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. And do you guys want a card or anything?
You gave me one already.
No, take your equipment.
I will. Yes, sir. Thank you. All right.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
I'll sell it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Pleasure to meet you, sir. Thanks again.
Madam Clerk, can we go into old business?
There's no old business, Mayor.
Discussion of commissioners. Commissioner Cooper?
Not at this time, Mayor. I'll wait for the next session.
Commissioner Pepitone?
I'm in receipt of the fire.
That's for the next meeting.
Not yet. Nothing.
That's just a work session, yeah. Commissioner Udalvis?
I will deliver the commissioner's report during the regular meeting. Thank you,
Vice
Mr.
Mayor
Mayor.
Parent?
Not this time, Mayor.
And myself, same. New business, please.
There's no new business, Mayor.
We've now reached the comment portion of our meeting. Anyone who would like to address this commission, please go to the podium, state your name, and address your concerns, and please limit your comments to 5 minutes. She's going up.
Just take that microphone, Courtney.
Courtney's got the, this is hers, I believe.
Good evening, Commissioners, and thank you very much for letting me have this few minutes of your time. I appreciate
As much
it.
time as you want. No,
Thank
not really,
you.
but you got 5
I know,
minutes.
I've got 5 minutes. Thank you so much. I passed out to many of the people that came in this evening a copy of the library strategic plan. Most of you probably in this room know that the library is looking to expand the library, and one of the first steps in doing that is to making a plan to figure out what it is you need and how you're going to make those steps to get there. So one of the things that we did, and many of you are aware of this already, is we did a lot of surveys over the summer, and we got over 700 replies back, whether that was electronic, whether it was through paper surveys, or whether it was just going out into the city and I did focus groups with Shine, I did focus groups at the library, I went to the different senior centers and engaged with the people there, and we really tried to get a really nice broad slice of the community for those answers. And as you go through the plan, we're talking about, what our library values are. And on that page, I'd like to really point out that what we're trying to do is address the 5 literacies, the 5 basic literacies, which are reading. And of course, everybody knows that the library is all about reading, but we support things like the summer reading program through the schools. We provide all the books for the school. The school children are required to read over the summer, and we do summer reading programs to help prevent the summer slide. I don't know how many of you are aware what that is, but a lot of kids, they get to the end of May and then they don't read another book again until September, and their reading level drops dramatically. So that's one of the things that we're trying to do. We have a financial literacy course that we're going to be doing in March and April for our community, helping people learn how to plan a budget, how to fix their credit, how to save for a new home, those kinds of things. You know that we're about technology. We have about 24 public computers. We do computer classes every week. We help people search for jobs and write resumes and plan for a better future for themselves. And we do health and wellness classes. Bettino's is coming bi-weekly now. They had 20 people at their class last night coming to learn about how to better manage their health through better eating and better shopping and those kinds of things. So we really do try to hit all of the various points of everybody's life, because what we're really trying to do is help the community. One of the things that the community said in their comments was that the library is an anchor in the community that people count on. And what they're looking for is a way to improve the quality of life. And we are a free agency that anyone in the city, regardless of their background and their social economic status, and I hate to say it, but even their affiliation with a Democrat, Republican, whatever, we don't care what they are. We don't care anything about them. We just want to help them, and we want to help them for free. So it's the best opportunity for any citizen of the city of Millville to really see their tax dollars at work. And we do support lifelong learning. We help people get their GED, which of course helps them get a better job and they become more productive citizens. And I know Mr. Grover looked at me when he said, "Oh, we can provide free Wi-Fi." We do it already. We do it already. If you drive by the library on a Sunday afternoon, you'll see people sitting out there with their little devices. Even though we're closed, they can still use our free Wi-Fi. So we have a lot of strategic priorities, and I don't want to bore you with taking up a lot of your time, but we are really proud of the fact that Chief Lippincott and Chief Farabella, who's left now, both come to our library during the summer reading program every year and interact with the children who are coming to our summer reading program, and we're very happy that they take the time out of their busy schedules to come and help us out with that. And we have in our plan, we have a picture of what the schematic of our new library would look like, and you can take a look at that if, I know y'all have all seen it before, but the other people in the room, probably it's a new thing to them. And we just want to point out that what a benefit we are to the community as we're moving forward and still trying to obtain the money that we need to expand our library. So that's the short and sweet. Thank you very
so
much, and I hope you all have a great afternoon, or a great
Thank you,
evening.
Courtney.
Thank you. Thank you, Courtney. Seeing no one else, I close the public comment portion of the meeting. Resolution, please.
Okay, we have a resolution authorizing a closed session for the following subject matter: MOU between Inspira Medical Center Woodbury Incorporated, under contract negotiations for contract renewal, and also the deliberative process.
I move for the adoption of this resolution.
Second the motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes. All right, we'll move over to the closed session real quick. We'll be right back, folks. Bernhardt. Trying to get things done.
Okay, I just need a motion to adjourn the
All right, can I
work
have a
session.
motion to
So
adjourn?
moved.
Second motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. So, Madam Clerk, we're ready to go on to the regular meeting, right?
Yes, Mayor.
Okay. Welcome to the regular session of the City of Millville meeting. January 15th, the time is approximately 7:28. I call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Mayor Santiago.
Here.
Commissioner Pepitone.
Here.
Vice Mayor Parent.
Here.
Commissioner Udalowicz.
Here.
Commissioner Cooper.
Here.
We'll have the invocation and salute to the flag by Reverend Karen Bernhardt of St. Paul Lutheran Church to deliver the invocation, followed by salute to the flag. You come right up here, man. Yes. We all stand, please. Right to the microphone.
First, thank you for inviting me to share with you this evening. Let us turn our hearts and minds to God. God of all creation, we call upon your presence as we gather this evening. We thank you for this day and the many blessings we have received. We thank you for the people with whom we have been in contact, our family, friends, strangers, and thank you for the ability to use our minds to discern your will and to work to create a strong and healthy community. We thank you for our community and all who serve it, for those who teach, for those who protect, for those who clean and those who repair, for those who work in parks and those who work on roads, for those who plan and those who make plans happen, for those who heal and those who counsel, for those who govern and those who elect, for all who live into the best example of what it means to be a citizen. We pray for all our community who are hungry, unemployed, or uninsured. We pray for all in our community who are mentally or physically ill. We pray for all in our community who live in violence. As this meeting begins tonight, I pray for each person here. Give each person clarity of mind, creativity, compassion, due diligence, integrity, and a sense of humor. Give them listening ears and thoughtful words. Give them presence of mind and an open heart. Help this governing body to use resources wisely and well, to represent all members of our community fairly, and to make decisions that promote the common good. Help all here to recognize responsibility to the past and the future, and the rights and needs of both individuals and our community. As trusted servants, we seek blessings on the deliberations and efforts this evening, that they may reflect wisdom and communal understanding. And all God's people said, Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I be seated? Thank you, Reverend Bernhardt. We appreciate you being here, and thank you. You know, I'm going to ask you to stand again, please, for a moment of silence for Joyce Vanneman, who, as like I said, stated earlier, state court of the city, great person. Unfortunately, we lost her, and if you didn't know, Joyce, you're missing a great person, a lady with a big heart. Although she was very small in stature, she was a great person, and I know if you knew her, she touched your heart some way, somehow. So let's have a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. This meeting is being conducted in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975, was advertised and posted and made available to the public as required by statute. The municipal clerk is directed to include a statement in the minutes of this meeting. Madam Clerk, are there any review changes to the agenda?
Yes, Mayor. The minutes have been placed on the agenda. They were inadvertently missed when the agenda was published.
Really?
Yes, Mayor.
Okay. Can we go right into bills?
Mr. Mayor, I move the bills be paid if they're properly certified.
Second the motion?
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Also, Mr. Mayor, motion to approve and dispense with the reading of the following minutes and to proceed with the regular order of business. December 31st, 2018, end of the year meeting. January 2nd, 2019, the regular organization meeting.
Second the motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries.
We've now reached the public comment on agenda items only. Anyone that would like to make a comment on agenda item, please step up to the mic, state your concerns, your name, and limit your comments to 5 minutes, please. Seeing no one, I close the public comments on agenda items only. We're going right to presentations.
Okay.
Commissioner Cooper.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Need my assistant. Good evening, everyone. How are you?
I'm good.
Everybody good? Everybody good out there? All right. So tonight we're going to have our contest winners for the Holiday Home Lighting Contest. A contest that we do every year. It's a lot of fun. It's nice to really go around to the homes and see what people do and what decorations they come out with. And just nice to drive by and take your kids by and then see. It's a lot of fun. So we have some people that have put a lot of dedication, hard work into it, and they deserve some awards for this contest. And we're going to make sure they get it tonight. So I hope everyone's here to get their awards. So we're going to start first, and I have my lovely assistant over here helping me out, Jeannie. We're going to start with honorable mention, Sam and Anna Blizzard. Are you here? Sam and Anna Blizzard? No? No? We'll give you a clap anyway. But make sure you get them if you're not here. Next will be the Garrick family. The Garrick family. Yeah, they're here. All right. Come on up. You guys, come on up. We're going to take a group shot here at the end. Come on. We want everybody to see you on camera. Come on. We're going to light us up like the way you light us up on there. Come on. It's all right. All right. Third place will be John and Sandy Sakronowski. No? All right. We'll give you a clap anyway. All right. Second place goes to the Hiles family. Hiles family, are you here? No? We know them, but they're not here. All right. And first place goes to the Gomez family. Where you at, first place, Gomez family? Not here? All right. That's all right. We'll make sure that they get their prizes, and we're going to take a shot with you guys. We'll take one picture with you. Is that okay? Sure. All right.
Sorry. You have a camera? Okay.
Great job, you guys. Let's see what you do next year. Oh, okay.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, old business.
Okay, there is no old business, Mayor.
Petitions and letters.
We have correspondence from Target Corporation in fulfillment of the requirements set forth in Section 5.2.3 of the financial agreement between the City of Millville and Target Millville Urban Renewal LLC.
Mr. Mayor, I move to receive and file this correspondence.
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Reports of commissioners. Commissioner Cooper.
You
Thank
forgot
you,
to
Mr.
vote.
Mayor.
I'm sorry?
You had to vote on that.
Oh, I thought we did.
To
We
receive
did?
just for your vote. You have to vote yes.
Yes.
You didn't
Okay,
vote.
You
thank
didn't
you.
hear me say
I did
yes?
not say, no,
I didn't say yes.
Okay.
Reports of commissioners. Commissioner Cooper.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So we have been working on, from the Parks Department, we have been working on the stone boat ramp area at Union Lake Park. Also cleaning up the leaves at Corson Park. We are also finishing up the removal of all the Christmas decorations. We're cleaning up Union Park and removing the brush from all the areas, including, again, the leaves. The next thing that we talk about is the upcoming events coming up. We have the RVC meeting Tuesday, January 22nd, 6 p.m. at the Millville Senior Center, located 1500 South 2nd Street. Please be there. Looking for you there, Noel. All right. Winter photo contest. Hey, we just got finished the lighting contest. Now you guys can get in the winter photo contest. Yes? Maybe not. Okay. We are currently accepting photos for all of our annual winter photo contests. So all the contest rules, please contact the Recreation Department. And last but not least, again, we'll be walking with the Holly City Walking Club every Tuesday and Thursday, 6:30 to 7:30 at Lakeside. Get your walking shoes on and get your cardio in, because we all know you have your weight loss goals for the years. This year, 2019, get out there to Lakeside and get your walk on. Mr. Mayor, that is all from the Parks Department.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. Commissioner Pepitone.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I am in receipt of the Fire Department report for the month of December, and I move that the report should be received and filed.
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries.
And for that, Mayor, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Udalvis?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. During the January 3rd reorganization meeting of the Zoning Board, members of the Zoning Board examined findings from the 2018 Annual Zoning Board Report. According to the count of zone variances, the applications and approvals of C and D variances in agricultural conservation zones centered on business uses beyond agriculture, constituting the primary area which the draft of the zoning ordinance does not outline or encourage permitted use. The remaining applications for D variances examined by the Zoning Board in 2018 pertain to the following current zoning districts: the B1 Neighborhood Business, B2 Professional Service, B3 Central Business, I2 Interchange Mixed Use, I3 Air Park Industry, R15 Residential, and R5 Residential. As the supervising planner provided explanations of the 2018 Annual Zoning Board Report through the scope of the drafted zoning ordinance, newly permitted uses were aligned for the following applications and zones: business expansion in the proposed medium-density residential zone, approval of rooming houses as conditional use in B3 and Center City residential areas, institutional uses of the area near Cumberland County College, and permitted uses for retail, restaurants, and tourism uses for the I3 Air Park Industry Zone. The January 14th reorganization meeting of the Planning Board included an informal concept review of site plan located at 501 Bogdan Boulevard in Block 125.03, Lot 11, in an I3 Air Park Industry Zone. The informal concept review presented by CMC Design Build on behalf of Rovignati Meat Processing expressed interest in developing for the aforementioned block and lot, expressing intent to utilize feedback from the Planning Board and proceed with the submission of an application following the completion of required studies. Recommendations by the Planning Board include seeking professional recommendations by the city engineer and planner to determine eligible waivers for an abbreviated version of the environmental impact statement, and the eligibility for trip generation model in lieu of a traffic impact study. Additionally, the Planning Board recommended communication with the county in order to address additional details pertaining to the traffic component. The recent adoption of the airport redevelopment plan guided discussion toward areas such as aesthetics of the facility and buffer requirements. In presenting the aim to complete phases 1 through 4 of the meat processing facility over a period of 4 to 5 years, CMC Design, on behalf of Rovignati, expresses the intent to create over 50 employment opportunities through fruition of this concept. As Director of the Department of Public Affairs, it is necessary to recognize the efforts and dedication of the supervising planner in partnership with the engineering department, as opportunities for economic development are promoted through their professionalism and sincere commitment to expanding opportunity in this municipality. While opportunities in economic development have been highlighted recently through meetings of the Planning Board, the city's construction official and the Bureau of Permits and Inspections are beginning 2019 with a concentrated code enforcement effort. As the department and New Jersey Community Capital finalize revisions proposed for Chapter 11 of the City Code pertaining to addressing problem properties, the Bureau of Permits and Inspections prepares for technical assistance that will be provided to staff following the adoption of the revised ordinances. Additionally, rental registration forms are in the process of being mailed. Through a collaborative effort with Hollis City Development Corporation, the Department of Public Affairs has initiated the process of providing input and evidence of its renewed dedication to code enforcement in the neighborhood revitalization tax credit area through the addition of code enforcement personnel, proposal of innovative revisions to ordinances that address problem properties, and the reinstatement of the city's construction department that focuses on compliance to uniform construction code and property maintenance code. While the changes instated in the Department of Public Affairs from 2018 to 2019 demonstrate the dedication to improving public safety and the quality of life through code enforcement, it is imperative that our community recognizing the outstanding contributions of the Wells Fargo Steering Committee and Millville Neighborhood Alliance as these individuals continue to work diligently to procure the necessary funding for planning and community development for our city's Center City neighborhood. As the Department of Public Affairs continues to accept and review nominations for the Making a Difference in Millville recognition, please note that nomination forms for the Making a Difference in Millville Award are available as PDF files on the city website, www.millvillenj.gov, beneath the category titled Forms and Public Relations, or available at Millville City Hall. And with the conclusion of this report, Mr. Mayor, progress.
Thank you, Commissioner. Vice Mayor Parent.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to submit the tax collector's report for the month of December 2018. Move to receive and file.
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Nothing else for this time.
Thank you. I'd like to have the water utility report, streets and roads report to be accepted and filed.
Mr. Mayor, move to receive and file.
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
I want to comment shortly on the last snowstorm that we just had. It was very incredible, and I hope that this doesn't jinx us because we had no complaints. So I see you smiling back there. Okay, good. Thank you, because it was great. So you know what the attitude that we took was that we over Public Works, which I direct, we make sure that we called everybody from every department. We had 30 employees out there doing a fantastic job, and I believe we had 29 trucks out there, and they started very, very early that evening, and they still worked right through the night until the next morning. We had a couple of people that stayed over, but they did a fantastic job. I'm very proud of the men and women that did that, and the best part was that we didn't receive any complaints that I know of that I wasn't aware. The other thing I want to mention is several commissioners here, I think all of us, we're involved with M25. What a great project. I know tonight's an active night for them, and we, as commissioners, I know I can't take any credit for that, but the credit goes to the volunteers, and I know we have some volunteers here. But what they do, I haven't been there in a while, but what they did last Saturday while I was there, it's just tremendous of what they do and what they do for the folks that come in. The more surprising thing to me is being here for so long and being involved in law enforcement is the people that I see that I've never met. There's a lot of folks that actually come from outside other areas because I believe they think we have such a fantastic program that they come here for shelter, they come here for heat, and they come here to eat. And I think it's just a fantastic thing. So what they're doing over there is just a great thing, and I'm so proud that we as commissioners in the city of Millville is involved with that. And again, what Commissioner Udalvis has said about this new company that's coming in, we're so excited about this. We had the presentation yesterday at the planning board. These folks want to get on. They have their feet on the ground, and they want to move. They want to make sure that we get going. It's going to be an exciting company coming into our city. And the other thing with that is once we get them planted in, we've already have several others that are coming right behind them. So I'm very excited for the future. And with that, that's my report. So we'll go right into ordinances on second reading.
Okay, we have an ordinance amending the Municipal Code, Chapter 39, Article 10, Schedule 21, Parking Reserved for Handicapped Persons, to add a handicap parking stall on West McNeil Street on the south side.
Mayor, I move for the adoption of this proposed ordinance for second and final reading.
Second motion.
Ordinance on second reading, item number 1. If anyone has any comments or concerns concerning this handicap, please step up to the mic. State your name and your concerns and limit your comments to 5 minutes, please. See no one, I close comments on ordinance reading number 1. Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 2 is an ordinance amending the salary ordinance to amend an existing title's maximum compensation for the following: electrical subcode official, fire subcode official, and plumbing subcode official.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this proposed ordinance on second and final reading.
Second motion.
Once again, ordinance number 2. If you have any comments or concerns concerning the salary ordinance that's being amended, please step up to the mic, state your name and your concerns, and limit your comments to 5 minutes, please. Seeing no one, I close the public hearing on item number 2. Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Ordinance on first reading, please.
We have an ordinance amending the salary ordinance to amend an existing title's maximum compensation for the following: Senior Public Works Inspector with a minimum of $20,000 and a maximum of $65,000.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this ordinance on first reading with final consideration to be given on February 5th, 2019, after due publication as provided for by law.
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 2 is an ordinance amending the City of Millville Municipal Code, Chapter 11, Bureau of Permits and Inspections, Article 10, State Uniform Construction Code, subsections 11-82, construction permit fees.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this ordinance on first reading with final consideration to be given on February 5th, 2019, after due publication as provided for by law.
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Resolutions, please.
Okay, item 1 is a resolution appointing CME Associates as engineer for special projects and authorizing professional services contract through a fair and open process in an amount not to exceed $30,000 for the duration of 1 year.
Mr. Mayor, with that, I have certification of funds from our Chief Financial Officer, Marcella Shepard, in the amount of $30,000 and move for the adoption of this resolution.
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 2 is a resolution approving taxicab operator license applications for the period covering January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019 for the following applicants: Javier Oteiza, Arnulfo Arteta, Nazario Espero, Anthony, and Masha.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this resolution.
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Bless you.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 3 is a resolution approving taxicab owner license application for the period covering January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019 for the following: Nazario Espero.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this resolution.
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 4 is a resolution appointing Pannoni Engineering as engineer for special projects and authorizing professional services contract in an amount not to exceed $50,000 for the duration of 1 year.
Mr. Mayor, with that, I have certification of funds from Chief Financial Officer Marcella Shepard in the amount of $50,000, and I move for the adoption of this resolution.
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 5 is a resolution authorizing the submission of a strategic plan for the Millville Municipal Alliance Grant to the Governor's Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse to the County of Cumberland for the period covering fiscal year 2020 in the amount of the DEDR $31,594, cash match $7,898.50, and the in-kind is $23,695.50.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this resolution.
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 6 is a resolution authorizing award of professional service contract pursuant to the non-fair and open process with Gruccio, Pepper, DeSanto, and Ruth to act as labor attorney for outstanding issues from 2017 in an amount not to exceed $10,000 for the duration of 1 year.
Mr. Mayor, with that, I have certification of funds from Chief Financial Officer Marcella Shepard in the amount of $10,000, and I move for the adoption of this resolution.
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent? Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 7 is a resolution authorizing the tax collector to enter into an installment plan pursuant to NJSA 54:5-19 with the property owner of Block 257, Lot 4, known as 1210 North 2nd Street, to pay water sewer back billing in the amount of $3,839.83, plus interest in 6 equal installments of $673.99, beginning January 30th, 2019, the last installment made June 30th, 2019.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this resolution.
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 8 is a resolution authorizing special assessment of municipal liens for certain properties due to expenses incurred by the City of Millville relating to board and secure, plus administrative fees in accordance with Chapter 11, Article 1, subsection 11-6 of the Municipal Code.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this resolution.
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 9 is a resolution authorizing adjustments in the tax utility records.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this resolution.
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 10 is a resolution appointing Grace Marmero and Associates as special counsel for tax appeal services and authorizing professional services contract in an amount not to exceed $15,000 for the duration of 1 year, which is being awarded in compliance with the fair and open process.
Mr. Mayor, with that, I have certification of funds in the amount of $15,000 from Chief Financial Officer Marcella Shepard, and I move for the adoption of this resolution.
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 11 is a resolution appointing Grace Romero and Associates as special counsel for tax foreclosure services and authorizing professional services contract in an amount not to exceed $15,000 for the duration of 1 year in the fair and open process.
Mr. Mayor, with that, I have certification of funds in the amount of $15,000 from Chief Financial Officer Marcella Shepard, and I move for the adoption of this resolution.
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 12 is a resolution to approve submission of electronic grant application and execute a grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for local freight impact grant funds on behalf of the City of Millville for Wade Boulevard and Orange Street to construct approximately 2.25 miles of roadway improvements.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this resolution.
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 13 is a resolution authorizing a shared services contract between the City of Millville and Atlantic County Utilities Authority for sludge disposal for the term of January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2023.
Mr. Mayor, with that, I have certification of funds in the amount of $350,000 from our Chief Financial Officer Marcella Shepard, and I move for the adoption of this resolution.
Second motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries.
New business, please.
Okay, I just need a motion to authorize the city clerk to advertise to receive bids for project known as landscape maintenance services, lawn grass treatment services, and lawn grass mowing services on February 21st, 2019 at 10 a.m.
Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this motion.
Second the motion.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parent?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We've now reached the public comment portion of our meeting. Anyone who would like to address the commission, please go to the podium, state your name, and address your concerns, and please limit your comments for approximately 5 minutes. Almost did it. Almost said it. Almost said it.
Good evening, everyone. Resica Brown, Dream Builders Empire Network, and I just wanted to announce having an open mic at Cornerstone Community Church February 1st, which is a Friday at 8 o'clock. And I'm just extending the invitation. It's open to all talents. We just want to come together and just fellowship with all our talents and gifts. And that's the announcement. Thank you.
Thank you, Resica.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
First time being here. To all, Natalie Tyson, Dream Builders Empire Network. It's such an honor and a privilege to be here this evening. And my thought to all the residents of Millville today is life and death is in the power of the tongue. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. If we are mindful of our words, if you start listening to yourself, if you start listening to others, you realize how reckless we are with what we speak and how negative we tend to be sometimes. But if we recognize how much power we actually hold within us, and what we speak is so important to bring an impact into other people's lives and into our city. And, I harp on about the city of Millville because I am really excited to be a resident here, and I'm very excited about the prospects for this city. And, I am grateful for you commissioners, for taking that position to help lead this community and this city into a great place. And I want to encourage you this year, and I pray much of God's blessings and strength and wisdom and grace upon your lives, and to all the people who contribute, even from city government here, the workers of the city who help contribute to make this place a wonderful place. And I'm looking forward to it getting even better. And the thought came to me, if we really want to see a better Millville, it starts with me. It's not who, we want to put blame on or who we want to delegate to. We all are part of this city, and it requires all of our participation to make a better city. And, we need to familiarize ourselves with the plan of the city and know where it's going, and what part can I play? What can I contribute into getting this dream for this city into a reality? And I encourage you, and I want to speak to you commissioners this year. May you accomplish far more than you had dreamt about accomplishing this year, because there are going to be hands on deck and favor being granted to you that is going to make your work even easier and make you accomplish even much more than was ever anticipated. God bless you, and God bless this city of Millville. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Natalie.
Mary Messick here of Millville. I'm just coming before this commission tonight to reiterate the fact that, yes, Millville has an outstanding Code Blue program. It doesn't just give those that are in need of shelter a place to have a warm meal, socializing, and safe sleeping. It goes a step further. They actually help people accomplish the needs that they have that have them sometimes within the situation that has allowed them to be homeless and in need of the services that Code Blue provide. Tonight, yes, there's Code Blue. Tomorrow, there's Code Blue. And again, on the 22nd of this month, regardless of whatever the weather condition is, there will be Code Blue, only because of the simple fact there's the night that Code Blue will be obtaining census or data, as most people would refer to it, on the needs of those individuals. There's been many that have been helped from anything from needing a place to live to beating addiction. And the rate of success has been astronomical, so much that Millville's form of Code Blue has been made the poster child for all of Code Blue throughout the nation. And that's saying something for Millville in itself. And for that, I thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
My name is Imelda Gary. I live on North 4th Street, and my concern is we have signs on 4th Street that says there's supposed to be no trucks coming or going up and down.
South 4th Street, ma'am.
No, it's north.
North?
I live on North, yes. But they're going up and down there like it's a racetrack, and we have a lot of little kids that shouldn't be in the road, but they are in the road, so I didn't know if there was anything you could do.
Well, I'll direct that right to the Director of Public Safety.
Okay.
Commissioner Pepitone.
And what I'll do is I'll make the chief aware of that. To
Okay.
see if we could send somebody down there. To,
Yeah, because it's all hours of the night and the day, and like I said, the signs state there, no trucks.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
It's north, yes, sir.
North 4th Street.
What block? What?
I live in the 700 block, and right
Oh.
down from me there is a sign there.
Okay.
It's across the street.
We've had this issue before.
Okay, thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for letting us know. Anyone else? I close the public portion of this meeting. Comments of commissioners. Commissioner Cooper?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My phone wants to ring. So I want to say thank you to some people for tonight. One is Mr. Grover for his presentation from Wi-Fiber. I think it was very informative. I think we really got a lot out of that, and I look forward to finding out more about what's going on with his company. I know they're fairly new, and I know I have more questions I like to ask myself, and I also want to say thank you to the Cardis for asking some poignant questions to Mr. Grover as well. And you know, and on a whole, I want to say thank you to the citizens of Millville for your passion and your passion for continuing to help us strive to make Millville that progressive city, that city that you want it to be as well. So I want to thank everyone there. Also, I want to thank Courtney Reese for coming out with the strategic plan for the library. That was very well put together. If you take a look inside of that pamphlet, and that's how I like to do things moving forward. I like us to really have things organized in that fashion, and I think that's how we can get things done more efficiently in our city. I know we all support the library. If you don't like the library, keep your hand down. That was the Simon Says test. You all failed. Okay. But we all love the library, and I know we want to really support it and do as much as we can for it to be successful. So also, you know, I appreciate when the citizens of Millville come out. And I know you don't want the spotlight, but I really do appreciate it's every little thing that you do or say makes us great. So you may think that, oh, it's nothing, and you probably held that in for months. But those are the things that make us a great city. It's all those little things that make us successful. But if we never hear about it, we never really know. So we appreciate that. Rez, I think the mayor's going to sing on the open mic over there on February 1st. Mr. Mayor, is that true?
It's not going to happen.
I'll try to work on that, Rez, and that is my church as well, so I hope to.
So you should be
get him
singing.
over there. I think I will on that day, so don't have the video ready. But
Moving on.
moving on, and Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Commissioner Pepitone.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to pick up on what Mary talked about, as well as you yourself. Code Blue is a phenomenal organization. Mike talked about him being there. What was it, Saturday?
I was there Saturday night.
Saturday night, but he was modest. He didn't share the fact that he through his interaction with one of the people there, he led them to seeking rehab. The following day, that gentleman went to rehab. I followed his lead and was there for the second session where you kind of like prepare lunch for the next day. It's amazing. I did not eat anything, by the way, you people. Gotta the amount of food that is donated from area businesses such as, I gotta find where I wrote it. Jim's Lunch was one of them. Dunkin' Donuts, the Amish Market. That's just to name a few. And the individuals not only eat breakfast, but they leave the next day with lunch. And it's great because, as Mary said, they get to interact with one another. You get to learn about people and their lives and their stories. And there's just such an appreciation from them that people are there to listen and just take part in their lives because they don't have that. And the fact that they have a safe place to sleep, it's a good opportunity. If any of you out there get an opportunity to volunteer, contact Cindy Cook, who's one of the heads of Code Blue, and get involved. You'll find it to be a very rewarding experience. And with that, Mayor, thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Udallis.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think it's wonderful that Mary has not only highlighted all of the benefits of Code Blue, but also the mayor. I had an opportunity to stop by on Friday night. While it was only for a few moments, I did have the chance to meet two new volunteers, and Cindy Stanger-Cook, who does a phenomenal job of really keeping the program running so smoothly, was actually in the midst of facilitating transportation for one of their Code Blue visitors who actually had the opportunity to go to a rehab facility that evening. Wow. So it just shows that the care and all of the work that they're dedicating to this is really around the clock, and it's something that they're invested in throughout the year, whether the weather is cold, whether it's warm, that they are 100% invested in that. And reiterating statements provided during some of what I had mentioned during the report of commissioners, I seek to once again thank not only the volunteers of Code Blue, but also the volunteers of our Center City neighborhood community for their continued efforts in improving the quality of life for the residents of Millville. As the Department of Public Affairs has achieved sustainability and stabilization in the areas of community development, economic development, and comprehensive code enforcement through the recruitment of qualified personnel and the reinstatement of the construction department, this department aims to adopt a proactive approach to improving public safety and quality of life in the city of Millville. Reflecting upon the developments within this department, it is also necessary to recognize the role of the city's personnel officer and city administrator as they supported the vision for this department in 2019 through their tireless efforts to recruit qualified staff in 2018. As a commissioner, I look forward to working with community partners in the city of Millville through the Neighborhood Alliance to foster this proactive approach to neighborhood revitalization and community development. And with that, Mr. Mayor, progress.
Thank you, Commissioner. Vice Mayor.
Hi. Some people got their wish. Commissioner Jim Parent can't talk. So that's the New Year's resolution. I want to hope you're all happy.
Is that it?
That's it.
Well, I hope you feel better.
No, thanks, man.
Well, we apologize that we ran late this evening, but it's things that we need to get completed so that we can move forward. But I want to stay on that Code Blue because I don't know if this is a misconception or not, but I want everybody to realize, and I'm glad that I'm on TV, that people that are coming there are not just those people that can't make it, that are not working. There's people that are well-to-do people that are doing okay, but have just hit a stump on their way. And they needed a night to sleep, a night for someone to feed them and care and talk to them. And that's what makes Code Blue so special. When you meet people that say, I can't go home tonight because I'm not getting along with so-and-so. When you meet someone that says, man, I have a bad addiction, but you know what? I'm here to make a difference and choose something different for myself. That's what's important. And there's so much education for us that are okay, that have a roof over our head, that have a stable family and friends. To not think about folks like that, you need to go and volunteer. I don't care if it's for 1 hour. The education that you'll get in that 1 hour will blow your mind. So it was a great feeling to be there and to be able to connect with those individuals that can't do what we can do, that can't go to a place where there's heat and a roof over their head, but those who are living on the riverbanks in a tent or in someone's backyard because they're allowing them to. So think about that, folks. If you get 5 minutes to stop by, right down the street, stop by and see those folks. And then, please thank those volunteers. Because I saw some magical things going on, the way people interact with people to get them to do something good and to change their choices. It's all about choices. You can make good choices or bad choices. And some of those people there made bad choices, and some of those people there had no choice to make. It's just the way they landed. So I'll leave you with that. Please pray for those homeless people that we have, not just in Millville, but in our county and throughout our state and throughout our nation. And I can't say enough about our people that run Code Blue, because they do a great job, the sacrifice that they do. So it's an excellent program. So with that, get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Any comments?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Have a great night. Be safe.